Spaghetti!
All right, cool. That should be good.
Perfect.
All right. Awesome. Well, with that all said and done, welcome, everyone, to the 12th episode of the Nintendo Roundtable podcast.
Yay!
Yay! If only we had, like, sparklers.
Milestone.
Yeah, right? If only we had, like, sparklers or wine or something to celebrate. Anyway, it's
How
so
would you put
wild.
sparklers in an audio-based format?
I could, or like
can.
just
Put the
glasses
sparklers
clinking
into
together.
In my SM7B.
Yeah, I could definitely add that in if I want to. Maybe I will.
Sure.
Maybe I will. You'll see in the end product, I guess. But to me, I think it's really wild that we have an entire year's worth of content in this little show we started last year. So, with that said, I want to get a huge, massive, colossal, genuine, and all around just well-earned thanks to everyone who has been on the show or listened in the past 12 months. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And here's to another awesome 12 months ahead. So kudos to all of you. And thank you for everyone that's here and being on the panel today. So
Yay!
Yay!
of course, though, that is not the only thing we're celebrating today, as today is also Mother's Day. Woo! Let's go, moms! Woo!
Go moms.
Yeah, go moms. And that's not all either, because can you believe it? There's even more news. Today, we also have a few new guests to the show, and in honor of all that, here's what we're going to do, okay? We're going to go around the table and have everyone give us their favorite video game mom, and for those of you that are new, introduce yourselves to the audience and tell us a little bit about you. So, starting with you, Sierra, favorite video game mom and intro. Go!
Oh no! I don't know of any moms. Why all? Okay, hold on. Mom in Pokemon Yellow. That is my go-to.
Ooh, that's a classic.
First ever video game mom. A
Yeah,
classic
was that your
mom.
first ever video game?
Yeah, I think so.
Woo! That's so cool. I think that was mine too.
Started me young.
Mine was probably blue. Or it was either
Nice.
that or Mario 64. I can't remember. My mom would know. I just saw her earlier. I wish I thought to ask. But give us a little intro. Tell us all
Sure
about
thing.
you. What are you all about?
I'm a Nintendo variety streamer on Twitch. I stream Smash, Pokemon, and then I rotate out, first-party Nintendo titles. And I'm also a musician, and I love video game music very much. And I sing in a band called With Sails Ahead, and very passionate about both music and video games. And I'm very stoked to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no worries. Next new face, we've got Don, Mr. Nintendaan, favorite video game mom and intro. Go for it.
Hello! 5-Volt from WarioWare.
Oh,
Wow.
wait,
That's a
that's
good
a
one.
good one.
That's a
5
really
volts
good
great.
one.
Oh, yeah, seriously. I
Yeah.
love that whole story.
I especially love the cutscenes in WarioWare Gold on 3DS where she's like, don't worry, we got something that you really like. And then she pulls out a bunch of board games and they just start playing games together. Which is very cute. Hi, I'm Dan. I used to be a lot more active in like 20 different sites. Then I took a sabbatical and went to Nintendo for a year. Hi. Now I work in more traditional marketing, and I still stream on Twitch, and I contribute mostly, I would say, to Game Explain, of all things.
Ooh.
Those are the two main things that I do. Might be more in the future. I just got back, to be honest. But it's nice to be here.
That's good. I'm glad to finally have you here because we've been talking about this for like 2 or 3 months now. It's just
Yeah,
like
for sure.
schedules have not been aligning and stuff like that. So glad to have you on, Don. Thanks for hanging with us. Jyggy, favorite video game mom and intro. Let's hear it.
Hey, so I'm Jyggy, and my favorite video game mom is Cynthia.
Okay. I like it.
I won't get in
like
trouble
it.
for that, will I? I'm good. My second answer is Yoshi. Yoshi's a great video game mom.
True. That is true.
Yoshi does like
Yo-
a lot of it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like
Okay.
Yoshi took care of baby Mario. I mean, come on, like that's the best mom. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm Jyggy. I mostly just yell about video games. I occasionally will play them, usually after an hour or so of talking about them. But I do like mostly Nintendo and other stuff on Twitch. I also focus a lot on charity events and large scale, giant team-based collaborations.
Woo.
Nice. Nice.
Hmm.
All right. And then transitioning over to some of our, more veteran faces. Sam, what's your favorite video game mom?
Veteran. Does mom figure count?
Of course.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick the grandma from Wind Waker.
Oh, that's
Oh,
exactly what I was
of
thinking, too.
course yours comes from Wind
Oh no, I'm
Waker.
so sorry.
It's okay.
You're gonna make
My
us
backup
cry.
was Cooking Mama
Oh, Cooking
or
Mama?
Babysitting Mama. I should have done Babysitting Mama. She has the little doll baby. Anyway, but no, I pick Wind Waker Grandma. 'Cause she's just a sweet old lady.
I'm so not surprised. Yours comes from Wind Waker.
Yeah. So I'm Sam, and Wind Waker's my favorite game.
Mm-hmm.
Second favorite game.
Yeah,
Favorite Zelda game.
you might hear that a lot, and you might have also heard that a lot. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, we have talked about it.
Wind Waker is literally my favorite Zelda game.
It's the best Zelda game.
Yeah.
It is.
All right,
It is.
let's
Number
not get
one.
ahead
With
of
you.
ourselves here. Come on now.
Yeah, that's a whole other. What, you want to start a battle already?
Come on, we're not even 5 minutes in.
At least half of this podcast cast believes so. So that counts for something.
Oh boy.
It's a good sign.
I'm a Breath of the Wild is my favorite, but if anybody's new to the franchise, I always lead them towards A Link Between Worlds. Actually,
Oh,
I
that's
love
also
That's a
it.
fair.
great,
Yeah.
that's a great start.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. Yeah.
like that's like the most user, accessible in my opinion. Like new Zelda fan accessible.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's a good
Yeah.
point.
Yep.
Sure.
Tris, who's your favorite video game mom?
Well, now I got to think of another one because it can't be Link's grandma. Or I guess it technically can be, but I'm going to think of something a little bit different. And I think I decided to go for a funnier answer. Wario's mother, who calls him in the middle of the bloopers from Mario Power Tennis.
Oh my God! What?
In
Wow.
Mario Power Tennis, in the funny Camelot intro where Wario and Waluigi getting up to all their antics, in the bloopers to that, which is like the funny entourage of strange moments they have, Wario, after lifting up the weights, gets a call on his phone, and he just goes, "What? Ma, I told you not to call me." And that's it. That's all we know of Wario's mother.
I don't think I've seen that before. I mean, I've seen the bloopers, but maybe it's just been so long that I don't remember. I'm gonna need to watch that later or something. What the?
But yes, actual answer, like Sam, would be Link's grandmother on Wind Waker, because she's so sweet. She makes your favorite soup, and it's like the only drink
Yeah.
Link is ever extremely excited to have out of a bottle in any Zelda game.
Yep.
It's the only thing that makes Link happy.
Yeah.
At all in that game.
Sometimes it's the simple things. You don't have to be the hero of time. You just need a good bowl of soup,
Yeah.
or it's like a cup, right? It's not even a bowl. I
Yeah,
don't
a
think.
jar of
A
soup.
jar
in fact.
of soup. Oh
The most
man.
annoying thing is now is that everybody's giving their answers, and I'm thinking of better answers that I should have given in the first place.
Well, what would you have said?
Genghis Khan, the Pokemon.
Oh my God!
Oh,
true.
Genghis Khan, yeah.
That one episode from the anime.
Yeah.
Gosh, what a great
Or
episode.
Rosalina.
It's
she's
weird.
literally guiding her
Rosalina.
children, the Lumas.
Yeah.
Yup. I'm surprised at how
Rosalina
much
is
of
also
diversity
my
of
mom.
answers we're getting to. This is nice.
Yeah.
But that's
Nobody said the game mother.
nope.
Oh,
Nope, nobody has
I
said
guess
that.
it's not a very funny joke.
Well,
Sorry.
I think it's just because I don't think a lot of us have even played that game. I haven't.
What?
No, I haven't.
I
I'm
haven't
not
either.
I'm not a mother person.
Okay, see, we should, this is a whole other podcast, but I totally think that Mother is the most hype game that nobody's ever played. Like,
You're probably
The-
right. Like
the
we're in
original
the
one?
thing.
Or
like just
like
Mother,
Earthbound
Mother,
Beginnings?
Earthbound, or even Mother 3. It's like,
Okay,
okay,
the
we have
series.
what? We have the entire series. We have 6
Yeah.
Nintendo people in this chat. And has any of us ever played any of the Mother games?
I've started Earthbound multiple times. I just haven't got more than like 3 hours.
I
God, we're all
did
so
just
fake.
finish
For me-
Earthbound like
Yeah.
about a month ago. I did.
So for me, the weird orthodox is that obviously I come from Europe, which the game officially never released in. So the first time I played Earthbound is when it released on Wii U and 3DS.
Oh, wow. So you actually have played it.
So you have played it.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Nice.
All right, so we got 1 out of 6. Like that's the whole thing. Is it's just like Nintendo fans love to get all up in arms about Mother and Mother 3 and like the Earthbound series, but in reality, just people don't play them, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it's not been on the mind. They're old video games,
God, we're all so fake, man.
I know. We're gonna get yelled at.
They are cult classics, and we are not part of the cult.
I guess so.
Hey man, the good thing about the Wii U, there was a lot of gap between releases, so I had all the time to play in the world
That's
to play
true.
Earthbound.
That's true. We don't have those gaps between releases now. Now
Yeah,
something
it's
comes
really
Randomly
out.
like
released
that
at the
anymore.
end of like a direct mini for the Wii U, so it's like that's the only
Yeah.
shadow drop of the day. Cool, I will play that then.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, my favorite video game mom is actually Rosalina from Super Mario Galaxy. So kind of like
there
Tom
we go.
said. I've talked about it time and time again on this podcast, much like Sam with Wind Waker. Mario Galaxy is my favorite Mario game of all time. And
Nice.
I think she's just like a really positive force for the Lumas. And obviously she gives off that really perfect sort of protective, motherly vibe. And I think it's really inspiring that she pushes through all of her own personal, like strifes and difficulties and
Right.
stuff for the sake of the Lumas because they need them. So,
And she gives that really cute story time for them too.
oh my God, I cry, I weep,
yeah,
tears beneath
yeah.
the moon
I
every
feel that.
time. Ah,
This is a
God,
weird tangent, but I always feel that Galaxy 1 is better than Galaxy 2.
I'm with you.
I agree with you.
Well, Galaxy 2 was developed. I think I remember reading a Nintendo Power article on this. Man, I'm showing my age. But like they said that Galaxy 2 was created entirely with scrapped concepts from Galaxy 1 because they were having so much fun developing Galaxy 1. They were just like, yeah, we'll just make more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that too.
Should do it
Yeah.
again. Galaxy 3.
Which I'm glad they did. It was definitely a great game. I wasn't a big fan of the level selection process, but that was just because it was the beginning of the Nintendo map era,
Yeah.
level select map era, where every single game had that level selection thing. And I don't know, I just liked Rosalina's Observatory.
Yeah, I mean, it came out in it was 2010, I believe. Yeah, 2010. That was a year with a lot of platforms and a lot of the same concept when it come to world map design. So it kind of blended together in some weird ways.
Yeah. All right. Well, now that we've talked about mummies, let's talk about video games and you. Something I like to do on these shows from time to time is kind of go around and get a little finger to the pulse and see what we've all been up to and what we've been playing. And I feel like it serves as a nice little checkup on everyone, So, let's hear it. Sam, what's been happening? What you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Switch Sports as it came out,
Yep.
I don't know, a week ago about now. And I've been having a ton of fun with it, trying to climb up the ranks, but to be honest, mostly just playing for our funsies. That and the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, I've actually picked
Oh
up
wow.
frequently, which is interesting because without getting too into it, I played it when it originally came out like almost a decade ago on PC, and I picked it up thinking like, yeah, okay, I'm happily playing it again. A little bit new content, fine, but there is a lot of new content.
Right, yeah.
I've heard
Yeah,
such
and so
positive
I
things.
think I've probably picked it up and put like a solid 10 hours into it at this point, and there's more that I haven't discovered yet. So
That's awesome.
I'm having a lot of fun with both of those.
Nice. What about you, Tris?
So
What you been playing?
over the last few months, I've been getting one of my friends through a bunch of the Zelda games where I'm the one playing and I'm streaming it for her the whole time. And over the last couple of weeks, we finally finished going through Phantom Hourglass, and that was my first time revisiting the game since it came out back in 2007. So that was actually a really interesting look back at honestly a rather forgotten Zelda game.
Oh,
Um,
that game is super forgotten.
Yeah, especially because it's always compared to its predecessor, Wind Waker, or its successor, Spirit Tracks. So it was really interesting, really sitting down and going through that again. Otherwise, it's been Switch Sports, like Sam, been having a lot of fun, mostly bowling in that one. Um, and I've also finally been sitting down to actually finish the post game to Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
Oh.
Oh, that's good.
So you're gonna do like are you gonna do 100% or are you just gonna finish the post game part?
I definitely want 100% Kirby. I enjoy doing that. I just like I managed to finish the story and then it got like really busy, so I just didn't get a chance to pick it up again for a while. So I'm finally getting back to that like this weekend.
Nice. I will say Kirby's like one of those games that oddly enough feels like it would be really cozy to 100%.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem stressful at all.
The late game stuff can get kind of hard, but yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
The challenges were pretty.
Oh, it's
rough
not
in
stressful
it,
at all while Triss is stressing.
Thankfully, not that bad.
All right, fair enough. Sierra, what you been playing?
I still haven't 100%ed the Arceus Pokedex. So
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Oh my-
Me
still
too.
Do you
too.
need
working on
help? Like I
that.
can help you guys. Oh my gosh.
No, it's cheating, Alec. No.
Oh, stop. Okay, all right.
I
I'll
might
send
Can't
myself
do
out.
it ourselves.
I'll let you know because I might give up on Cherubi. I am at my
Dude,
my
Cherubi is
end.
the worst.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I'm so close. I'm like I have 10 or less Pokemon to go, and then I can go
wow.
fight God.
It's worth it. I promise you, it's worth it.
Yes, that's why I'm grinding. I'm
mhm.
like, I know, like, you know, once I do this, I'm gonna feel so good. All those hours I sunk will be totally worth it.
100%.
Also playing a lot of Switch Sports, and then really just focusing on Arceus. I went back and I played a new Pokemon Snap last weekend and a little bit this week because you know the 1 year anniversary came.
Oh,
in,
yeah.
so it was
Yeah.
nice to go back and revisit it. Still rules. That game is still really fun for me. And yeah, and I'm gonna start competing locally in Smash, I think. So I'm trying to sink in time when I can there. So that's like my rotation currently.
Wow.
That sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, that does sound
Yeah.
really fun. You want to know what's really criminal of me, though, is that for all the years that I've been like, yeah, we need a new Pokemon Snap, and yeah, this is great Pokemon, but where's my Pokemon Snap? Like, I played the game, I did all the stuff in it, and then the DLC came out, and I never actually got back in to do that. What's wrong with me? I've heard it's really
That's
good, though.
okay. It is so good. You know, like we were saying before, like the amount of time between games dropping is so much shorter now. So I feel like it's always like on to the next thing, and you know, it's easy to get distracted and move on to something else.
Yeah. God. I should do that. I really should do that. Anyway, Don, what you been doing over there? What's going on? What you been playing?
I played a bunch of stuff, including Switch Sports. I think the other games that I've been playing. First off, I played a game called A Musical Story, which is you're basically playing songs with the Z, L, and ZR buttons, and all the icons move around in a circle. And in the middle of it, they try to tell you like this very 70s like road story, and all the music is basically blues. And the good thing about that game is you don't really have to follow the icons because with a Pro Controller in the hand, they do little vibrations of where the notes exactly are. So basically, if you know the patterns or you at least looked at them once, you can basically close your eyes and do every section by feel. And it's such a unique game when it comes to like story progression, the way that you nail certain aspects of the music, because basically you have to nail every single part of a song before it puts you in the next bit of the track as well of the story. So there is a lot of things in play there, which I really, really like. It's about a 2.5 hour game. There is a new game plus mode afterwards where all the songs become harder. But it's a really good time.
This sounds really interesting.
It's really fun. Then the second game I've been playing a lot, and it's mostly with people on stream, I would say. It's called Let's Play Oink Games.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard of this too.
Yeah. Oink Games is a board game maker in Japan. If surprisingly enough, from a video game standpoint, because they also make video games, if you remember the company Skip that used to make the art style games for Nintendo, a lot of those developers actually went to Oink Games. So what they made from a video game standpoint is that they took 5 of their more popular board games, including A Fake Artist Goes to New York, and put them all into a video game format. And I've had a lot of complaints when it comes to like board game transitions to Switch. Like, for example, Catan is kind of bad. But they managed to make such a seamless transition from physical to digital, where all the pieces are basically the actual board game pieces, but they put environments around them and music. And like the lobby system, especially for online, is like really, really well done. Every season they're adding a game to it. So last season they added a game called Mr. Face, where you make little faces. And they're adding another game this summer. And like slowly but steadily, I've been pulling basically my entire chat into it. Like where people just end up buying the game themselves. And now I've been just asking the developer directly to buy codes from them.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a... Honestly, I would say it's one of my favorite games that I've played in a while, especially from a multiplayer perspective, because like every game has something unique and different to it that you can basically find something for everybody. And I have a friend who doesn't like board games at all. I'm a gigantic board game geek, but he hates them with a passion. And he really loved Let's Play Own Games, which is honestly like my biggest victory lap I ever took when it comes to a board game.
That's good. That sounds really fun.
It's really fun. Like I will introduce you to it later.
Yeah.
And then finally, I played Forgotten Anne, which is a slightly older game. It's a adventure game where basically the premise is that you are in a world where items are forgotten. And you play as this young girl named Anne who is trying to explore the inner workings of this world. It's very puzzle adventure based. It was published by the indie arm of Square Enix. And the production value is like really high. They have animated cutscenes, like all the game environments that you go through are hand animated, and it's really beautiful.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I want to try it out with you. The Oink Games. That sounds fun.
Yeah, me too.
It's fun.
That sounds fun.
Next time you stream it, hit me up. I'll make myself available.
Very good.
I think the only person that hasn't gone, except for me, is Jyggy, right?
Video game.
Yeah. Tell us about the video games. Let's
Isn't
hear
that
it.
crazy? Like lately, I mean, besides, you guys have heard this 1,000 times, but Switch Sports, because it's the most recent release, for Nintendo. I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring. I don't know if you guys played that or touched it, but
I have.
I
Um,
have, yeah.
love me some Elden Ring. Great game. I've also been playing this little indie game called Mario Kart Deluxe. I don't know if you guys have ever played that game before.
Right.
I'm playing a lot of
been
that too.
enjoying that. But yeah, that's about it. I'm kind of in this weird place where I'm excited about video games coming out, but I'm also just like, I want something new and exciting,
Well,
Yeah.
Before you give yours, I have something new and exciting that I forgot to mention.
Okay.
Is
I've
it
been
Breath
playing-
of the Wild?
Also, I
'Cause,
take it back.
yeah.
It's not new at all because it came out a couple,
all right.
a couple years ago.
This is all over the place already.
It's very exciting for you.
It came out a couple years ago. I forgot to mention this, but I've been playing it a lot. It just came out on the Switch, 13 Sentinels, Aegis
Oh, hell
Rim.
yeah.
Mhm.
Super fun Atlas game. If you're into story games, like there's a lot of story going on, but it's also got really fun gameplay. So I recommend that. Anyone? is looking for something kind of long to pick up. I know we're talking about how there's too many releases, but it's a pretty. It seems to be quite a long game, as is Triangle Strategy. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Triangle strategy.
Which I still have not finished.
Sam is just naming off the longest games in existence.
These are all the long games that like I just pick up like an hour here or there, but like I know I'm not even halfway through them.
Oh God! Listen, I'll hit you up whenever I finish the previous Atlas game, which I'm working through, which is Persona 5 Royal. It's been like 2 years in the making, and I don't.
I need to hear about the end of that one from you.
Yeah, no, like, I feel like I'm close,
Yeah.
but Chad always tells me I'm
Someday.
not, so I don't know what to
Like
believe.
I'm slowly building a backlog up too. I still need to start Rune Factory 5 at some point.
Me too. It's in this package still.
Yeah.
Also, to piggyback a thing off of Jyggy's, don't forget Jyggy. We bullied Alec in Mario Party the other night.
Don't remind me.
We really did.
I wanted to own up to
Alec
that.
brought it
Don't
upon
remind
himself.
me. Listen, I'm the great mediator, okay? I invite my friends and enemies to this show, all right?
Alec brought it upon himself. Okay, all right.
Okay. All right. Go watch the VOD
You were
if
the
you're listening to
only
this now,
one
then you
that
be the judge.
bought the gold pipe.
Which board did you guys play?
Spaceland.
Yeah, it was Spaceland.
Oh,
It
of
was-
course, Spaceland.
Yup,
Let's go.
Yeah, Alec did lose all of his coins at one point.
Yeah.
And stars.
We always knew
Stars, yeah.
Spaceland was gonna be the end of someone.
It was a time.
We've-
It was a
I
time.
That's the secret of Spaceland. Always has been.
I
The
did.
game was
I did
played.
also get reminded though from you guys talking about some of you guys talking about like indie games and such. Something else I was going through recently is Chicory, A Colorful Tale. The
Oh,
really
yeah.
cute game. I saw it at PAX. Like I saw merch for it, and it reminded my friend and I, oh, we haven't gone through that yet. So we started going through it recently, and it's such a cute game, and it's like really chill, and it's been really tranquil. And we set up this rule in the chat that when he's streaming it, whenever someone joins the chat, like we're not allowed to talk loud. We're just chilling with it. And it's been really fun.
Chill times only.
Yeah, basically. It's been
Vibe
nice.
check passed.
Nice.
That's cool. I used to do that too. Back whenever, the olden days when we all had free time. Anyway.
Yeah, right.
So
I think I mentioned this at PAX a little bit, but did any of you guys get to play Tunic yet? Like,
no,
I cannot
I finished
express
Tunic,
it.
yeah.
I'm waiting for that Switch release.
Thankfully, I have Game
Oh,
Pass,
that's not
so
going to
it's
be
like-
probably for a while. That's Microsoft
Yeah.
has them on lock
I'll wait
and
as
key.
long as it takes.
So the funny part is with Tunic, obviously I was more than willing to buy it because they kept saying, "Oh, it's not releasing on Game Pass. Just buy it." And then the day runs around where it releases, I start up the Xbox, and guess what? It's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a day one release on Game Pass.
Yeah.
It-
I have it on Game Pass.
despite
too, so it's
despite
not
them
going
constantly
anywhere.
saying, "Nah, it's not happening." Nah.
Well,
But it's
Wow.
I played through the entire game. Very Zelda-like. But it's one of my favorite games of the year so far, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to win Indie Game of the Year. It's that good. Like,
Yeah, it's for sure.
it's perfect. Like, I don't say video games are perfect that often, but like if you like Link to the Past, but then you also like challenge a little bit of challenge, but then you also don't like anything that holds your hands, and you want to like
For sure.
brain. Tunic is perfect. Like it checks all the marks for a Zelda fan and a Dark Souls fan.
If you really like the
Nice.
puzzle aspect of Zelda, I think people should really take notice of it.
okay. Yeah, I have it on Game Pass, so it'll be there for
Oh,
me
there you
when
go
I'm
then.
ready.
I'm thinking about buying it again because I now have a Steam Deck.
Ooh.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
fancy.
it's perfect. I mean, once it comes out on Switch, it's like gonna sell like hotcakes. It will eventually be
Oh, yeah.
probably one of like the best games to own on Switch just because of its like it's a perfect game. But like I don't know, I very much enjoyed Tunic. It was a great experience.
It's real good.
Nice. Well, I guess for me, right? Because I should probably, answer
Yes.
the question
No,
too.
we've all jumped in.
For me, I've been playing a ton of 2 games recently. Just 2. All right. The first one is the Overwatch 2 beta. which
Ooh.
I've been
Oh,
having
interesting.
I've been having such a blast with it. Oh my gosh. It's very familiar in some ways, but once you get down to the overall gameplay flow of things, it's actually uniquely different to the first game. It is a beta though, sadly, so it's only limited time for now, but yeah, I've been playing as much as I can to get ready for the next game as much as I can because I plan to do the same thing I did in the first game, which is grind a top 500 again in North America once more, see if I still got it, that kind of thing. I have that's just my own personal goal, but yeah, that's my plan for Overwatch 2. So
What are you maining in Overwatch 2? Do you know
gosh,
yet?
in Overwatch 2, like I don't know, it's so hard because the gameplay and like the hero balance is so volatile right now.
Yeah.
Just from like
I
this
still
one
want an answer.
just from this one beta patch to another, so much has changed. But I think currently, right now, it's probably going to be either Roadhog or Zarya. I've always been a tank player. That's what got
Okay.
me to
Ah.
my peak. So I'll probably do that again in this one because tanks are a lot more impactful because there's one less person on team now. So
You can only have
Oh.
one tank per team, right?
yeah, it's 1 tank, 2 damage, and 2 healers. So
I feel
Wow.
like
Yeah.
tank's usually the one that's easier to snag in terms of people needing one for their team.
it's hard.
That was my experience.
In Overwatch
In
1,
Overwatch
for
1.
sure, for sure. In Overwatch 2, since there's only one and they're beefier and more, like, there's more to them, it's actually support that, like, a lot lot of people don't want to play.
Oh.
So it's
Well, I
it's
usually
kind of
play
interesting.
support, so I'm here for that.
Yeah, you'll get games really quick. But that's my plan for Overwatch 2. I could go on and on about this game, obviously, but for you guys' sake, I'll just go ahead and move on to the next game I've been playing a bunch of, which is, you guessed it, Nintendo Switch Sports. Nice little
Hey.
transition here. Anyway, so Nintendo Switch Sports, I've been playing and absolutely grinding in. I love the game, as you can imagine. And recently, I made an entire video that came out to just over 20 minutes long. So if you're curious on my full thoughts on the game, feel free to give that a watch. But the short of it is, I love it. It's the perfect mix of Wii Sports meets like, modern fitness simulator sort of vibe. And most of the sports themselves are really, really fun. My personal favorites are bowling and chambara. I still maintain that those are the best 2 in the game. The visuals are great. The unlockable system is a system. And the online is just fantastic. So overall, for me, really solid game with maybe a few minor gripes. But with that said, Sierra, lay it on us. What are your thoughts on Switch Sports overall? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What would you rate it?
I love it. I think it's a really great follow-up to Wii Sports. I can't stop calling it Wii Sports, by the way. Wii Sports, but on the Switch.
Yeah.
I've been getting really into Chambara and what else? Volleyball is a toughie for me, even though they're communicating to me clearly what to do, which is great. Reaction time just not there for me. So that's one of my weaker ones. But but I still love playing that. Soccer's definitely been interesting. Bowling is just like you gotta play bowling. Like bowling is like, a classic for me. Like that was one of the ones I like ran into the ground on Wii Sports.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's been a joy for me. I feel like I'm getting like physically more into the bowling now than ever. Like I don't know why, but it feels like I'm like I have to be really in tune to like how I'm like flicking my wrist and stuff, because I feel like that matters now more than ever. And the game's really picking up on that. So I'm like playing it and I'm like, wow, it really does make a difference if I like swing my arm out of my socket and also like line my wrist up like straight. Like
Out of your socket, how are you bowling?
I'm throwing hard. I gotta
Oh
get strikes.
my gosh.
I want to
Kind of
strike
like a
every
sweat
time.
fest.
She's got like the
It's
overarm technique, just actually throwing it
yeah.
at the pins.
Yeah.
Bowling is literally like a sweat fest, though. Like my
Oh,
first game or second game or whatever, the one that was with the bots, I get in there and I lose on the first round, and I'm just like, I missed one pin.
Oh.
I literally missed one pin. It was all spares except for one time when I got 9 pins, and I'm like, oh, I'm playing with the world's best players. What is happening?
Yeah.
It's great. Oh yeah, and also the design, the game design is just amazing. Like I want to go get a coffee and read a book in hum books. Like that's
Yeah.
like,
This world building's pretty good. Yeah.
yeah, it's so beautiful.
I would say though, with the world building, I just miss an option where I can just explore it.
Yeah.
Like, because
It's
it's so
so
insanely
pretty.
detailed,
Yeah.
right? Like all the areas that they've made are so insanely detailed, and
Yeah.
the nicest thing about Resort was just exploring what the island was all about.
Right.
And I feel that is kind of missing from Switch sports.
Mm. Man, I would totally go have like a coffee or something in the Chambara Stadium. Watch people fall to their death into the
in the
pool.
state,
Yeah.
sit on the edge of the thing and
I'd be like,
watch
yeah,
them
get him,
fight
smack him.
with their coffee.
My
It would-
my
it
thing
would
is they
be
constantly.
incredible.
Then you go first.
I was saying it would be an incredible spectate feature too, if you can just like go like walk
Right.
around
Oh,
each of those
yeah.
areas while
Yeah.
things going on, and just kind of
Yes.
stay in a spectate mode when you can go to whatever angle you want and go sit around. Like, oh, that
Yeah.
would be so nice.
Mhm.
Especially if it like defaulted to spectating your friends that are online.
Yeah.
That's
would-
one of my
That
gripes.
would be amazing.
That's one of my minor gripes is I wish you could spectate or something. But
Right. I mean, we're saying online is fantastic, and in many ways it is. But like the way that they made friend lobbies, I just think is really weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you cannot invite people through the invite system on Switch, which is in other Switch games. It's
Mm,
not
not many.
like, I mean, not many, but they started using them since last year more actively. And it would have made sense to just invite people on your friends list to a lobby. But also, like, me and Alec played that on my stream, I think, what was it, last week?
yeah, it was last
Um,
week.
And we played for all the 6 sports, and it went well. Though there are weird limitations then. For example, if you are in bowling, and you are just with 2 people, the game doesn't take that into account. It just says, we're going to add 6 CPUs.
Yeah, you can't like.
Yeah.
It always just autofills the rest of the game with CPUs, which kind of stinks because if I
Yeah.
wanted to 1v1 bowl somebody, I just don't have the option. Which
Right, and then on
Kinda
the other
stinks.
hand, so they have the one-on-one option for soccer. So you can clearly scale it. You only just did it for soccer, though.
yeah, it's weird because like soccer has its own 1v1 mode and bowling doesn't.
A different
but
arena as well. Like they
Yeah, that-
really went all out for it.
Whenever we played, I was like, "What the heck is this? What's going on? Where am I?" It was so strange, but yeah, that's definitely one of the minor gripes, like I mentioned.
Yeah, I like all sports, but I'm pretty bad at Chumbar, to be honest.
Oh, it's so fun. Oh my gosh. I just wish I had a better looking sword, which kind of ties into the unlock system, but
Yeah. I'm
Right,
still mad
yeah.
about it. I could go on for days.
you got like the short end of the stick, and so
I got like the ugliest unlocks, all the brown. What are they called?
Oh, like the
Sports
old
things.
classics or whatever there are.
Yeah,
Mm.
like
Oh my God.
Alec gets like these cute pink stars and cute things, and I have ugly,
like just like
ugly everything.
prison red
I am-
tracksuit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just sad that I didn't get the one with the face mask because I wanted the face mask, but I didn't get that one.
I did get the face mask, so maybe I shouldn't
Mm.
complain too much.
hmm Yeah, it's so strange. Tris, what do you think of the whole game?
It's definitely, it almost feels like there was a dedicated team to each sport rather than like the whole, because each sport just feels so different from each other in terms of like how they handled the multiplayer aspect to it, to the point where there's elements of the game that don't really feel unified is something I'm noticing.
That's-
Like,
That sounds fair.
and it makes me wonder if that's actually what they did. They made each sport its own thing, and then afterwards, then tied it all together in like a nice complete package, rather
Yeah.
than the team working together on each individual thing. Because it almost feels like some of the decisions made they would be one of those things that I can't fathom how they would have chosen, as you mentioned, like the 1v1 option for soccer, but not for bowling, unless they were co-developed at the same time by different subsections of the team. And then finished it, and they go, oh, whoops, well, too late now. And then did it. But otherwise, I mean, it is really fun, though. I think, especially of the classic sports that are from older Wii Sport titles, I think they really capture what they needed to of those sports, and it feels like a great evolution to it. And it's nice too because you look at the last Wii Sports game, which was technically Wii Sports Club on the Wii U, and probably just because it was the Wii U, didn't do very well.
Right.
But
No,
it feels
didn't
really
do
nice
well
seeing
because
this
they
be active.
charged. Wii Sports Club had this weird subscription service
That's right, it did.
that you had to pay $3 a day to play
So-
day?
individual
So-
individual swords.
I mean, here's the thing: there were 3 ways to buy, I think, the stuff in Wii Sports Club. There was the 24-hour pass. There was it was the 4 ways. There was also the 7-day pass. There was just buying the sports outright individually, which then at the end they did boxing and baseball together for some reason. And then there was a retail version of the game.
Yes. So like you could purchase the full game, but that didn't come out for a year and a half after the game came out.
That's so weird.
It was about a month after baseball and boxing came out, as if I remember.
It was
Yeah.
it was a wacky thing. It was like $3 a day
Yeah, that's
per sport.
weird. Needless to say, you compare that to Switch Sports, and they definitely have a better handle on all of this now. There's absolutely some weird
100%.
choices here, but they definitely have a much more complete, fun package here, which is still going to get a ton of updates as we go. But most of my time in it really has been put in bowling. I think I reached D+ rank. I think that's where I'm at.
That's not bad.
It's not.
Better than F.
It's not. It's not that bad when I haven't had a ton of time to put into the game, and that's been the main sport that I've been playing. I really enjoy. It's really satisfying to actually attempt to get strikes or spares on like the really like advanced like gimmicky courses too. Like it's really satisfying to actually do well on those, because it's not when it's not and it's just plain bowling. At this point, I'm already getting up against people where they're basically getting strikes and spares every single time. So if I don't, I'm out. So it's a little scary. I do agree with the unlock system being really weird, and I kind of wish when you complete a card, since we know there's multiple things that can appear on those cards, I wish you can just refresh it. Just like refresh the card, and it'll give you the next set of things on that card that you didn't get.
Yeah, because now, how long am I going to have to wait until they cycle back to that set?
Exactly.
Who knows? And if I get the same things on my set, I'm going to be so mad.
They probably
Just
won't
do it.
give you things that you already have, but yeah, and
They
especially
better
since
not.
you can have multiple accounts, it'll probably also differ what's on them based on
Yeah.
your account,
It does.
Yeah,
which is
I
even
done
more
that.
frustrating.
Yeah.
Even the funnier part is that if you don't have an account with Nintendo Switch Online, your Nintendo Switch ports entered into what's called trial mode. They can still try like the online versions of the sports, but it's constantly played against CPUs. And you can only unlock stuff for one panel, which is I think for the simple one.
Wow.
And you cannot rank up to Pro League. So they have a way where you can still play the game the way it's intended online without having a Nintendo Switch Online subscription.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
barely,
so
though.
weird. That's weird.
Very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the unlock system's a head scratcher.
For sure. Sam, have you given your full thought? I think you're the only one that hasn't like expanded.
I really love Switch Sports. I think it's the main criticism I've seen are people saying like, well, they should have took longer with it in order to release more sports with it, and I'm okay with that not being the case, because the sports that are out are fun, and I think honestly the primary pull to it is just the online gameplay and ranked.
100%.
So yeah, I'm fine because I'd probably be fine if it was just bowling, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
My favorites are bowling. I've grown to love soccer. I think it's
Okay.
just, I think one of the more complex ones, and badminton I think is really fun.
Yeah.
Fast,
Ooh.
and I enjoy
Soccer
it.
is so fun too.
And I hate the unlock system only because I had really bad luck with that first one. Ugh, I hate mine.
That
I'm
was
sad.
so funny because I was watching Sam stream the other day and I noticed that you had a red tracksuit and I was like, wait a minute, where'd you get that from? And then you were like,
yeah,
oh,
well,
it's
I was
on the card.
complaining.
And then I was like,
I
wait
was
a minute.
I was in there and I was I was playing, I was bowling, and there's like somebody with like a really pretty green tracksuit, and somebody with the one that you have, Alec, which is like pink and
It's
like
like pink and
pastel color
purple. So cool.
tracksuit. And I was like, "What? How do I get those? What am I doing wrong? Like, what do I have to do to get that?" And people in the stream are like, "No, no, no. You just like your card doesn't have it." And I was like, "Excuse me." And so then I started looking at what other people had and realized that I had like the brown version of every like tennis racket,
So
and
unlucky.
badminton racket. It's so sad.
I felt never more defeated when I booted up the game on first day when it released in Japan. Then I played for an hour and saw people wearing a mask. I'm like, how do I unlock this mask? And then I looked up a guide stating from, hey, there are different unlocks for different people.
Wow, great.
It took me several days to find that out. It wasn't very clear in the unlock system at first.
No.
Even though
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
when they post about it on like social media, there's usually something right underneath that says something like items may vary.
It's
like,
oh, okay,
That's
sure.
how they get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
Just wait
I'm
till
the
it gets
fool.
worse. When they add the
Yeah.
the other body types, because when you go to select like your body type, it's like the
No.
human or the me, and then it's just this big empty box otherwise. And
No
we know
way.
there's
I
that
noticed
we
that.
we
I was
know
like,
there's
what?
that like purple squirrel outfit or that like
Oh,
purple
yeah.
squirrel body that you
Yeah.
can get. So we know there's gonna
Squirrel
be like
body.
animal bodies or something like that you can get. And I can only imagine how upsetting that online system's gonna get when like
Oh, no.
so when like everyone has a squirrel that everyone wants, and you go boot up the game, and what do you have? A porcupine. And it's like, oh, that's not what I wanted. But
the furries
Just
are
want
going
a
to be in
hedgehog.
shambles.
Yeah.
Wanna be a
I think that's my
worm.
main issue with search boards. I feel like the unlock system is too arbitrary because you're already paying full price for the game, and the fact that you also are paying for Nintendo Switch Online, which the main focus of this game is online. It feels like the moments that you have to wait for the next unlocks just feel a little bit out of reach.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. My only other complaint overall with the game is kind of what Don was talking about is the online party system is just not as good as it could be, and I'd really love the ability to open public lobbies that I could share codes for.
Yeah.
That would be
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah. Oh yeah. Overall, I mean, I'll give my 2 cents on the unlock system, then we'll move on to the next thing. It's just really weird, and my personal preference would be like if you're gonna do like these weekly card things, I'm fine with that. It's just I wish it was everybody gets the same thing, because that way I
Yeah.
don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. You know, that's my main thing. It's
Yeah.
just I feel like I'm missing out on these cool, like some people have the black face mask, which is kind of what I wear in real life, so obviously I would want that. And then some people have these really cool like volleyballs that they get, and I don't know. Clearly there's nothing in my power that I can do about that, unless I just wait for the next time that it shows up, which kind of stinks. So
Who knows
Yeah.
how long that'll be? Yeah.
yep. So overall, Switch Sports good unlock system
Yeah.
is a system. So there you go.
Yes.
Basically.
All right. Well, moving on over to movie news. Yeah. It's one of those rare moments.
Movies.
Yeah, it's one of those rare moments where a film is one of the main focal points of the show. But the Mario movie has supposedly had some minor story details leak online from a somewhat reputable games leaker named Jeff Grube, and he seems to think this info comes from an early screening. Plus, I figured it'd be fun to talk about them and use that as a jumping off point to talk about the film as a whole. So, that said, take these with a grain of salt, as they could or could not be true, and I also cherry picked the ones that are not massive spoilers or anything. So,
Okay.
the details are as follows, right? So, supposedly, the Mario movie will have. I'm just going to read the list off that I put here. So, a cartoonish art style, quote, full of life and color, which is quoted as similar to the look of Hotel Transylvania. The humor is supposedly very punny and very meta, but it's weird that they specified this, but no dabbing or fart jokes, etc.
Yes.
There goes my ticket. What's the point? So,
Well, then they
yeah,
can't have Wario in the movie.
I know, right? What the heck? His like whole character is farts, but supposedly Mario and Luigi are gonna have Brooklyn accents.
Okay.
Good.
Donkey Kong Jr., Pauline, and Toadsworth are rumored to appear. Daisy is name dropped. Female Toads are in the movie, and there are supposedly songs in the film. So,
Wow.
all that
Nintendo's
said,
bringing back Toadsworth.
I know. All that said, I read this and I just had so many thoughts in my head. So I want to kind of just ask the question to everyone here. What do we think about these details? I mean, if true, right, would you be happy with the film's general direction thus far? And bonus question, how do you think it will compare to the current and ongoing success of the Sonic movie? Starting with you, Tris. Hit us with it.
So I think it'd be interesting if these details are true. Like if they're like exactly those points and true. I think it'd be interesting because it'd be a nice refreshing change of pace from your typical Illumination children's movie in that case, and a step closer to, in general, I guess, better encapsulating what Mario is, while also sticking true to some of the lore they've dropped over the years that they've kind of abandoned supposedly, and I guess trying to come back to like the whole Brooklyn side of things. Hey, remember Mario is a plumber after all.
Hey, what the heck, Luigi? What's up with this winning a mansion? Come on.
It would be really funny having some of these elements come true, because then the smallest part of me would be sitting there hoping for some stupid reference to the older movie, like the live action movie.
Right?
I want a
totally
reference
have
to
to.
it.
I want a
Something.
fully Illumination remake of the 1993 Super Mario.
There we
Bros.
go.
Same
There we
plot,
go.
everything.
Perfect. No, I
Goomba's
think
exact same design and everything.
Yes.
I'm gonna throw up in my mouth.
I think I guess my main thing is I just hope it doesn't. I hope it isn't just telling us the plot of an existing Mario game. Not that Mario games are heavy on plot, but I hope it doesn't end up translating as one-to-one with the game, and it's something a little more interesting and new. And there's been several like supposed leaks or rumors about the movie over the last like 6 months that have gained some level of traction. So it's kind of impossible to say which one, if any of them are real, which one's gonna come true on it. But the one thing that I hope comes out of this is that I hope Toads don't become the new Minions.
Oh my god!
And by that, I don't want Toads to be treated as even more annoying. I want them to be nice and marketable, but I don't want them to be even more annoying. Please.
New fear just dropped.
I mean, speaking of recent movies, Mario technically already has a multiverse, so it's all going to be good.
It's true.
Oh, true. Man, you saying that got me thinking of the unholy trinity, that being the Rabbids, the Minions, and like some version of annoying Toads. Oh god.
No.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, yeah.
Moving on with that terrifying thought.
Yeah. Putting that trauma behind me. What do you think of the comparison between this and the Sonic movie? Because for me, hold on, let me clarify why I'm asking. Because I went to go see the Sonic movie. I loved it. It was great. I know Jyggy has opposite feelings, but it's fine. But I went to go see it. I loved it, right? And then going out of that theater, I thought like, wow, like I know that there's a Mario film in the works and everything, but I am so concerned for this film because the Sonic movie was just as good as it was, and obviously it's breaking all these records. Where does that put the Mario movie, I wonder? Like, should I be scared? Like, because it's doing so well.
So I also find it funny now how the Mario movie is coming exactly 1 year after Sonic 2 did. But
yeah, also really weird.
I think it's worth keeping in mind that Sonic's a live action movie. Sonic's kind of more true to its games with the constant use of humans, but Mario is very different in that case because it's going to be fully animated by an animated studio. And I think it's fair to compare them in terms of getting video game movie adaptations, because that's something that is so often botched and really upsetting so many times. But I almost want to say it's going to be really hard to compare them because they're very different styles. Like, sure, different IPs, different companies, but I think even the level of involvement. I mean, the Sonic movies constantly feel like it's made by Sonic fans as like a love letter to Sonic. And like the fans and the community. I don't get that vibe from how Nintendo wants to handle the Mario movie. I mean, they have Chris Pratt in the starring role and Jack Black as Bowser. It feels more like they're just trying to go big and wow instead.
Yeah, that's
Hey-
true.
Hey man, will the Mario movie have a wedding subplot?
Oh my god. I mean, Odyssey
Yeah,
did,
yeah,
right?
Peaches.
So,
Yeah, Odysseys.
So
God.
the Sonic movie, with Sega's connection to it, other than providing source material and stuff, it's honestly just their marketing team. Like the Sega's marketing team works with them on the movie. You know, this movie, the Super Mario movie, is like actively being overseen by Shiggy himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, that's
The
what I
man
mean.
himself.
Shiggy. You know, so like,
which happy Mother's Day to him, by the way.
yeah.
He is a
Right.
mother to many.
He's a
He-
mother to
Bowser
Bowser
Jr.'s
Jr.
mom.
He's
Yeah.
Bowser
Somebody
Jr.'s
should have said
mom.
Olimar. I want my favorite mother to be Olimar.
All right,
change it.
we can change your
Everybody
answer.
knows that Shigeru Miyamoto is the canonical mother of Bowser Jr. He
Yep.
says it himself.
Yeah, he points at himself and everything. Sorry,
Yeah.
go on, Jiggy.
Right. Yeah, continue,
But
Jiggy.
the main thing that I've been hearing in the, you know, just thinking about movies as a whole, and like, there is a reason why they're delaying this film. Like, it's not the animation either, because Illumination as a actual like animation studio, they are kings of pumping animation out. They can get stuff done within months. Like, that's like, they're not behind on the animation. This was clearly a rewrite scenario.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to know what they changed, you know, like, and why they changed it. And I have a feeling that the reason why they changed it is directly tied to the sheer difference in quality that we have when it comes to video game movies nowadays. For example, as the Sonic movies, as you know, I actually have never seen them, so I have not seen those movies, so I can't judge. But I know that they're very, very high quality compared to, say, I heard that the most recent the Uncharted movie, recent Uncharted movie, is a nightmare for fans.
I'm sure
So-
it is.
I'm interested
Even
to know
though
if
Uncharted movie
Nintendo.
was just okay. I think many of the characters were basically just miscast.
Yeah,
Let's
but
hope
I'm
that's not the case with Mario.
well.
Well,
Well,
Jiggy, if you have more on that, go ahead. But I did have a thing to piggyback off of that.
No, piggyback.
So I don't know how like reliable this is. This is another, of course, rumor kind of tying into that, actually, in terms of rumor as to why it might have gotten delayed. And the theory, from what I've heard, is that they did test screenings and it went over badly. And the specifics
Oof.
behind that are kids weren't laughing. That's a bad sign. So they're rewriting a lot of it.
Fair. Except
And
kids
I-
might not have the best sense of humor.
No,
just saying.
no, but when you're making a family oriented, very heavily aimed
Right.
at kids, and they're not
They
having the
care.
reaction you wanted, that's a big deal to hire us. Like, okay, we got to practically scrap and redo the movie if kids aren't enjoying it.
Jesus, I did not hear
So
about that.
I
That'd
don't
be
know.
really
I don't know if it's like to that degree. It might just be for like specific key moments or whatnot. But the idea that elements of the movie are needing to be redone because kids weren't enjoying it in the way they hoped, then they need to then do things over and try it with a new test screening audience or something. I think it makes sense from that perspective, which is why I think there's probably some level of truth to that. But
Right.
yeah.
I think the main struggle for an actual writer is how much plot do you want to add to a Mario movie?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, to
with
Sam's
the,
point,
with,
they don't
with the
really
Sonic
have
films, at least they're taking elements from the different kind of games that are there.
Yeah.
With another example, with the Detective Pikachu movie, they run with a half-finished game and finish the movie quicker than the game is done.
Yeah, that's
my
true.
God,
that's right.
Still waiting on Detective Pikachu, too.
One day.
Yeah.
Whenever that
Pokemon
is.
Part 3, because Part 1
Sure.
and 2 released on 3DS in Japan, but technical.
Mhm.
But they don't really have that same material when it comes to Mario. Obviously, you have Mario elements with story, like Paper Mario or Mario and Luigi, but that's not exactly what they're going for here.
I also don't think that's, like, what the general public recognizes as a Mario story.
Right.
But there aren't that many Mario stories.
I know that's exactly what Sam was saying earlier, where it's like there's not really a whole lot of story anyway. So
Yeah.
makes
It's a
it hard.
fundamental issue, I feel. And that's why I believe that they went back, where they tried to put something together, likely with heavy input of Shigeru Miyamoto, who is very much of the belief that that Mario needs to stay traditional as much as it possibly can. And there's likely been a clash there, one or two. They did some test screenings, and it didn't really work out for them. And honestly, I think that's a good thing, because at the end of the day, it will make the movie better.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean,
Yeah.
you would hope, right?
So
No.
do we think this is my question for everybody? Do we think that they're going to make a different big bad? Like Bowser is not the enemy, and he'll end up like being the frenemy with Mario.
Bigger and
There's a
badder.
good possibility. There's
Yeah.
a good possibility.
Here's my prediction. Okay, so
Mhm.
I think Bowser is the big bad, but he's played in a way that's like, super goofy and stuff. Because like whenever I first saw the casting and everything, when Jack Black came on screen, the first thought I had in my head, I was like, oh my god, he's got to play on the saxophone that Bowser theme from Mario 3D World, right?
Oh my
And,
gosh, yeah.
He's gonna play it, and he's gonna be like, Mario, what are you doing in my castle? Something like have this like really big musical number, and then like obviously
Very
Mario
Jack
will win the
Black.
day or whatever, and then like he's not like a bad guy. He's just a really goofy guy that's like trying to get in the way of Mario doing whatever the plot of the movie is. I'm not even sure. So that was always my impression, and the fact that there's supposedly songs in this movie, according to this rumor, right, makes me super optimistic in that way. And I don't really see
sure.
Nintendo bringing anybody in beyond Bowser as a big bad, simply because this seems like a movie that's trying to pander both to the general audience and people that love Mario in general. And the general audience only is Mario, and then there's Bowser, and then you can Peach, and that's like what
Yeah.
happens. So,
Once again, that's hard to say, right? Because we don't know that much about the movie anyway.
although
with music and how you mentioned Pauline might be in it, now I wonder if they're actually going to bring Kate Higgins back to sing another song like Jump Up Superstar.
That would be great.
So great.
That would be great.
wait, I didn't even think
So
about
the-
that.
Love her.
The other thing is we know Charles Martinet will be doing some like additional voices
Yep.
Yeah.
somewhere in there. So there could be a scenario where there's like the majority or a portion of the movie has Bowser as the big bad, but like there's actually a bigger threat that's threatening the entire Mushroom Kingdom, and
Yeah.
Bowser and Mario have to get together. Also, if that bigger threat was voiced by Charles Martinet, that would be,
That would be great. Yeah.
amazing.
Considering the sheer
That'd be
amount
fun.
of characters they announced in that Nintendo Direct presentation, I wouldn't doubt it.
Huh.
Yeah, and I don't think it would have to be like, I think the benefit of doing something like that is that they can introduce something that's going to go away after this movie,
Yep.
not
Mhm.
canon to the entire
True.
Mario universe. So they can have a bigger, badder threat that is literally vanquished and gone after the movie, and it doesn't disrupt the Mario universe in any way.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
be
just like
surprised
just
if,
every
if
Mario
they
and Luigi game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they released something alongside of it, like a mobile game to promote the movie.
Add all the characters to Mario Kart Tour.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah, but like think of it like I think Mario and
What if we
Luigi is
got
a
a
great
Mario
example.
game?
Like Mario and Luigi is a great example. Bowser's never really the big bad in those games.
Except once,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, but like it also you got to look at it like this: is Nintendo has a massive partnership with Universal, and Universal, of course, would love to make. Even if this movie does not do that well, they're gonna want to make other movies. So
Yep.
you making Bowser the big bad is not beneficial because they could totally make the big bad Bowser movie. You know,
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Starring
Bowser Origins.
starring Jack Black.
our guy. Yes.
So you're saying in this film, Dupliss
With
is going to
Bowser
be the big bad?
Jr.
Ooh.
Ooh, or Bowser
Ooh,
Jr.
Dupliss. Okay.
Oh, finally, we'll get a backstory on
Yes.
Bowser Jr. through a movie.
Oh boy.
And then Miyamoto makes his appearance as the mom. It all comes full circle. It all comes full circle.
Perfect.
All right. Well, I guess we can move on to our last topic of the show, which is, of course, we got to talk about it. We always do, it feels like. But it must be done. It's hard work, but it must be done. Next month's Nintendo Direct. Next month is June, after all, right?
man.
Which
Which
is
hurts. I
wild,
cannot believe
right?
Time
that
flies.
we are
so,
already a month away.
so strange.
My God.
Anyway, I don't have very many notes for myself for this one, so this will be a bit more freeform, I suppose, for me here.
Off the cuff.
A little bit off the cuff.
Perfect.
But the question on everyone's mind, and seems to be for myself as well, is what does Nintendo show next month as their big reveal, right? Because we already have a pretty solid schedule for the year from just, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in the summer and Splatoon 3 in September, and then we have Pokemon during the holidays. So that's already a solid rest of the year. But as we all know, E3 season is the time of the year to show off some big games. And
What is it,
I'm-
E3?
yeah, RIP, right? But
Rip.
I'm
E3
just
is
kind of
dead.
I'm just kind of at a loss here. Like, what does Nintendo put in that direct? Is it just a bunch of trailers for stuff we already know about? Do you think there's potential for big games announcements despite the packed schedule? What do you
So-
think, Don?
So it's the usual, right? So they will announce a direct, say it will be focused on games that are releasing in 2022. They will show a bunch of games that are releasing in 2022, including like a final big trailer, I think, for Xenoblade, like a bigger dive into what Splatoon 3 will be like. And then they will announce a bunch of games that will release at the beginning of next year, later down the line, or just drop in a month or two for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Oh my God, true. I'd much prefer that over a random Twitter post on a Sunday morning.
Paper Mario.
Yeah.
Poor game.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
I'm kind of right there too, though. I mean, I definitely think they'll have the primary focus on the remainder of this year. They'll definitely give us new things with what we've already seen. So, like, for example, maybe Bayonetta 3, we'll get a new look at that. And since we haven't since last September, that's pretty big. And maybe more Pokemon. So, like, there'll be new things that'll be enough. I do think brand new game reveals. I think we'll finally get our first look at actual gameplay of Breath of the Wild 2. Finally.
Yeah, right.
Even though it's spring next year, I think they'll finally give something and maybe even name it. And
No, not yet. Not yet.
no, I'm telling you, I keep
the day
joking.
before it comes out.
I think I joked in one of the previous podcasts here that they're actually just going to release the game as the sequel to Breath of the Wild, and it's going to have like a Velcro strap over the cover with the title, and it's like "Do not open until completed."
You can't know the title of the game until you beat Ganon. That's the rules.
right. But the other idea though is I still think we're getting some like new big Mario game, 2D or 3D or something. But I think we're getting some sort of Mario game that might be timed around the movie, not necessarily releasing exactly with it, but maybe like within a month of it. And it's possible the movie delay might have been because the game wouldn't have been ready for the Christmas season. So maybe we'll see a Mario game get announced for like February, like the 3D World time slot that we had a couple years back.
Yeah, I think so too, because Mario games usually have, like, main ones anyway, about like a 5 to 7 year gap between releases, and we're right about that amount of time between Odyssey and now. So
Yeah,
by the-
it's
like,
been 5 years since Odyssey.
Yeah, so you gotta, like, obviously announce it, and then there's a release date. So from announcement, if we assume it's in June, that would allow plenty of time for by the time it comes out, it'll be within that 5 to 7 year, little gap period typically.
Yeah.
So
And it
I'm
doesn't
right there
need
with
to.
you.
It doesn't need to tie into the movie, obviously, but just having a brand new Mario game releasing around the time of the movie, those are going to help each other immensely. They don't even
For
need to be
sure.
related at all.
Yeah.
I do want to note too, aside from Odyssey, it could be 2D because we don't know what the 2D Mario team has been up to, and they were hiring for like a brand new project in like 2019, I think.
Right. I mean, the 2D Mario team is mostly based off young designers that come into Nintendo from like their game education, immediately jumping into making level design.
Right.
So I think it's constantly in and out of flowing of people who then move on to different teams. So it's
Okay.
definitely possible that they particularly have enough hires to make another new Super Mario Bros. Game. Because
Oh gosh.
let's be real here, right? It sold more than Mario Maker.
Yeah, Mario Maker 2 did not do very well.
Do not get me
So
started.
there's always
on
that-
YouTube.
It's such a great game. Like I still play that game.
It's a great
No.
game. It just didn't do
It's a
very
great
well.
game, yeah, for sure.
Its online
Yeah.
structure is very bad too, but
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah,
But-
in general, I think that's a real possibility. From a 3D perspective, I think it gets slightly murkier because between Odyssey and now, they also released the Bowser's Fury as part of
Yep.
3D World. I don't think that necessarily would take a lot of resources. I don't think that would have necessarily taken up like many years, but there's still a considerable amount of time put into it.
yeah.
So I still have slight doubts about it, but I wouldn't doubt it either way.
hmm
I think that Nintendo marketing is in a bit of a shambles right now
A
for
little bit.
June. Because if Nintendo, I mean, yeah, they probably knew a month or two before us that Breath of the Wild was getting pushed back.
Mhm.
But in reality, this June was supposed to be Breath of the Wild 2 all, and that's it. You know.
Probably.
So I'm assuming that what we're going to get basically just 15 minutes of Xenoblade Chronicles, 10 minutes of Splatoon, and then like we're gonna get a couple of a couple of little reveals here and there, but nothing like absolutely mind breaking. And then you can never rope Pokemon into Nintendo Directs anymore because
Yeah, they do
Pokemon
that.
Company
Yeah.
does their own thing now.
Yeah,
Sometimes they've done a little of both lately.
Right. But the thing is, you're saying like 10 minutes on Xenoblade 50, or 50 minutes on Xenoblade, 10 minutes on Splatoon 3. I don't think they would do that because they still have, if they are doing anything, particularly around E3, if they're still doing Treehouse Live, those kind of things would be saved for Treehouse Live.
Yeah, that's true.
And
But
the main
that might be a
core
big
But why
if.
do Treehouse Live now?
Yeah. But the core presentation would still be like 30 minutes with just shorter chunks dedicated to games here and there.
Oh, I didn't even mention. We're definitely going to see the next wave of Mario Kart DLC. Like, undoubtedly.
likely.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
That's the one thing I know that I can count on.
Yeah, right. That's the new Smash reveals. the next Mario
Right?
Kart
Probably like get
DLCs.
released like the day of the
Hopefully-
direct. You know.
But yeah,
That
there's
would
still
be
a lot of-
nice, but I doubt that.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of doubts about how the rest of the year is going to look like. If I will be a betting man, I would say, for example, that Bayonetta 3 would be October.
Yeah. I can see that.
That's a
What
good
do
October
we think
game,
about
though.
Metroid?
And
Is it time
Splatoon
yet?
3 being September, you each month have a showcase game to show. The only thing that would be empty then at this point would be August, but they also don't have anything this month. So, I mean, there still be smaller games, but I think like the showcase games are kind of into place already for the remainder of the year.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But like again, what do we think about Metroid? Is it time yet? Can we finally
I-
see?
I don't know. I've been
it ha-
saying it's time for years.
Yeah.
It's been 3 or 4 years since Metroid Prime 4 restarted development, and Retro Studios did like update their cover photo to what seems to be concept art for it, around
I
the
saw
start of
that.
the year.
Oh,
So it's possible we'll finally get to see something on it. It might not be anywhere near as much as Metroid Dread in the few months before it released. In that case,
Yeah.
but it'll probably be like a good reminder. Hey, this exists and it's happening next year.
I
Maybe,
feel like
Maybe a
maybe
sneak
at the
peek.
earliest.
I think we won't until it's pretty darn close because I think
Yeah.
they know how drawn out this development has been, obviously, and they don't want to announce something a full year before it's going to come out at this point. I
yeah.
bet you anything they're going to wait until it's very, very close. And I don't
Well,
think
they
it's
did-
coming out this year.
Well, they did reveal Splatoon 3 like a year
Oh,
and a
it's not
half
coming out
early.
this year.
Yeah,
No,
but that
yeah.
one I think is I don't know. I think it's a little different. I think Metroid's a special case in this case
That's
just
fair.
because of the whole,
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's Nintendo. No rules really eventually apply because they constantly
That's
break
true.
them all the time.
Yep.
So, even the things we can predict to happen couldn't happen. But I honestly think that there is still a lot of variables that we don't know, and they could easily fail a 30-minute presentation with it next month. It's very
Yeah.
easy.
My primary prediction is, I'm going to say it again, and one of these days is going to be correct, is the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD.
Please,
I've only been asking for it for 3 years, and this will be the one.
There's nothing
Yes.
currently planned that is Zelda related for the remainder of the year, and they want to release a Zelda thing every year, so I
It's
wouldn't
gotta
doubt
be
it.
now.
Yeah,
It's
but-
gotta be
Oh, yeah,
now.
hopefully
It's gotta
we
be.
get a big jump
Look,
of more NSO stuff. That would be
Yes,
sick.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
GBA.
You
GBA,
guys sound like my
GBA.
chat. You sound like my Twitch chat. All right, give us Zelda. I want Wind Waker HD. Ugh,
Yes,
like,
I will
Breath of the Wild
continue
2
to
got
do.
pushed back to 20 years from now. I'm like, no, bro, it's gonna come out in March. All right, Breath of the Wild 2 is gonna come out with the in March at the earliest, May at the latest of next year. You know, like it. I just don't see. I mean, yeah, it'd be awesome. Would love Zelda Breath of the Wild, or would love Wind Waker HD, and would love Twilight Princess HD on the kill the Wii U, kill the Wii U. But like, you know, I don't know. I feel like the entirety of the Zelda team is pumping hours of development time. Like everybody is making Breath of the Wild 2 happen right now.
Yeah,
but
probably.
this is another thing that needs to be made by the Zelda team per se, so I think that's the safest bet at this stage.
Like Grizzo, what are you thinking, Grizzo?
Yeah.
They're 50-50 for me, all right? You know, Grizzo, they're two. What are they? 2-2 right now for me. I loved Ocarina of Time 3D. I loved Link's Awakening, but Majora's Mask and Triforce Heroes were oopsies.
Maybe we'll finally get the
I
Oracle
feel
games
that
remade.
with Majora's Mask, I feel that they've ruined a lot of stuff that was in place with the N64 game. That's for somebody who hasn't played it before. I still think it's a solid version of the game, I suppose.
Oh yeah, no, it's actually I think it's a great way to experience Majora's Mask. I just don't like that there are several points that they did not test.
Yeah.
They did not test their changes, and that's what it's a little messy. Anyway,
100%.
sorry. Zelda.
Yes. But yeah,
Hopefully.
honestly, like wrapping up, I honestly think that is the safest bet at this stage, and it's been rumored so much that I don't think there is much else currently going on in the world of Zelda.
Other than
I have faith. I've had faith for a long time, so this has to be one of these times.
It's a now or never moment, right? If it
One
doesn't
day.
happen now, whenever would it happen?
Well, I said that last year for the anniversary, so
It will
Skyward Sword
happen.
was our anniversary game.
Yeah, it will happen. They have no reason not to. In all honesty, those are two video games that were made for the Wii U. The Wii U has an install base of 10 people. Actually, there's 6 of us here that have it, you know. So, like, they're gonna put it on the Switch. It's just a matter of sooner rather than later or later. I think
Actually,
I saw,
yeah.
or I think we were talking about. I think
Yeah.
Chris was talking about this, but it's how Nintendo thinks that the Switch is about halfway through its lifespan right now.
Yep.
Yeah. That makes sense.
there's
Also-
time.
Also, this podcast is actually a Wii U support group.
Yeah, we're all here for each other.
Yeah.
If you at home also have a Wii U, please email Alec.
We'll get you into this club. No worries.
Yeah.
Sierra, why
the
don't
other
you
4.
wrap us up here? What do you think is going to happen in this next Nintendo Direct next month?
Oh, I'm really trying to not get my hopes up too high. I hope in the spirit of like June always being a really big like game announcement season that there is like one little bone that they throw us at the end, whether that be like just like a sneak peek at something for 2023 or what have you. But I really don't think they're gonna give us anything too crazy. Just like more gameplay stuff for Q3 and Q4. And just hopefully just more content for Switch Sports, and then I guess we'll see whatever Mario Kart tracks come out next.
Yeah.
Okay. You think we'll see Zelda?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think
I hope so, but like
I think
We've
we'll
been
get
burned in
either
the past.
Zelda or Breath of the Wild 2 or Wind Waker HD.
Zelda or Zelda.
Zelda or Zelda.
Zelda.
Personally, I would love to see Wind Waker and Twilight Princess in a combo pack because we know Breath of the Wild's going to come at some point, right? But I think much to you guys' point, it feels like, I love to be wrong, and I have been wrong in the past. It feels like it's one of those now or never things. And if it's not now, then, well, I don't know. But I'm right
Alex
there
is
with you,
really
Sam. I
optimistic.
campaigned.
Alec is like more optimistic than Sam here. Double pack? Whoa.
Listen. No. Oh, let me give you some context, all
guacamole.
right? So we've recorded
talked about
podcasts
this.
in the past, right? Where I was campaigning. Oddly enough, I was like, and it was years prior too. I was like, one day we gotta get Super Mario Galaxy on the Switch. And then what happened? We got Mario Galaxy, we got
And there it
64,
was.
we got Sunshine, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, this is so happy. I literally streamed 100% completing all of them. It was amazing.
Nice.
And then, transitioning to my next favorite game that isn't on the Switch yet, is Twilight Princess HD. So me and Sam are like running the co-campaign here for a Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD sort of like combo thing. I don't know, that's just my
Both for
head in the
$60
clouds.
would be like,
Oh, that would be a no-brainer.
in my opinion, very fair. And
pay
but I don't know if
1,000.
Nintendo would go that low. But I think they could. They definitely could.
True.
They could get away with it.
I'm going to preface this, and Trish know what's coming. I would say that if I can only buy Wind Waker, that would be totally cool with me because I don't need Twilight Princess.
Okay, man.
That's why they have to
Okay,
double them up.
dude.
That's the only way they can get people to get both.
Nintendo got $60 out of me for Skyward Sword. They can easily get 120 out of me for,
Skyward
Yeah.
Sword.
for the other two
Skyward
games.
Sword is the reason that I'm more skeptical about there being a 2-pack
Mhm.
because I don't know. Like Skyward Sword got the HD upgrade though, so I guess it's different than just a straight port. I don't know. Fingers crossed. I would love to get
Ruin my
both.
dream, Sam. Stop it.
No trust. It's my dream too.
Listen, especially these end up being like Pikmin 3 Deluxe, where it's like Wind Waker HD Deluxe or something. So it's the HD ports of the game and then some extra. Like even if it's just getting more Switch controls in, and I don't
They
know,
lock-
like
they lock the
some
new,
some slight additions.
No, they're gonna lock the GBA emulator inside the Tingle Tuner.
Oh yeah,
my
they're gonna have to change. They're gonna have to change the Tingle bottles because there's no more Miiverse, so they'll have to change that system a bit too. So there
Oh,
you go.
true.
So there'll have to be something different.
Okay,
So now it'll be.
they're
now
gonna
it'll be
bring
Deluxe.
back Miiverse. That's the new solution.
Yeah. Literally messages in a bottle.
That will
All right,
be the
we're all
announcement.
forgetting.
Social media.
We're
Well-
all forgetting though.
Oh no! What if you
about
start
the-
to get tweets in your messages and bottles?
Oh
Yeah,
no!
actually
Quick,
really cool.
quick link,
no.
right a hit tweet. You'll get your piece of the Triforce that way.
I'm gonna start getting hate
use the
bottles.
right hashtag. No.
But
So the
we're
longer
all
just gonna be
forgetting
this paper
about the
stuffed in a
real
bottle.
left field game. The only game that's guaranteed to come out and be
Oh.
announced at this June.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Arms 2.
True. 2 arms.
Yeah, 2
That's
arms.
it.
Two
That's what it will be
arms.
called.
Or is it arms squared?
Arms
no.
square.
It's
Arms
called legs.
and
Yeah, I was gonna
legs.
say legs.
Yeah.
Legs.
All right. I think that's going to do it for us here. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me today for this month's episode. I really, really appreciate it. I'm clapping my hands together. I'm a guy that talks with his hands.
Applause.
You're about to do the DK rap. I can hear you.
Anyways, I'm going to do my best to make sure that this podcast is run on a monthly basis and gets regularly updated over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That way you can listen to these discussions in whichever way you prefer. Anyway, that's pretty much at the end here. Before we go, I wanted to take a second, go around the table one last time, and give each of you 5 seconds to tell us about yourself and where our listeners can find you on the internet, starting with you, Nintendaan. Whooper's biggest fan. Let's hear it.
at Nintendaan, NANTNDAAN.
Sweet. Jyggy.
You can find me on the internet if you type in the letters JYGGY and then put the dot symbol and then put the LIVE and then push enter. That's it. Jyggy.live.
So easy.
That's it.
Very detailed
Yeah.
instructions. I like it.
It's on my wrist right now, actually.
Ooh, wait, mine's on my desk somewhere. What about you, Sam? Let's hear it.
You can find me under the name NintendoFanGirl. Sometimes it's other things. If you just search NintendoFanGirl, I'm on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc.
Nice. Sierra. This.
You can find me at You can find me at Sierraplusultra on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. SIERRA plus ultra on all the things.
Nice. Cool. And on tour sometimes, right?
Yeah, nothing for now until hopefully August, hitting the Midwest. Fingers crossed, and then some kind of surprise in fall. So we'll see.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Nice.
Exclusive premiere for the news. I'm just kidding.
I always leak tons of stuff. I leak it all.
Yeah. Tune into Sierra's pages for the leaks. Tris, round us out.
Yes. You can find me on Twitter at ToonTris. You can find me on other things, but that's where I'm most active. Otherwise, I'll be making content on Game Explain on YouTube. Or on Twitch on Game Explain as well, because I do my Mario Kart streams there a lot.
I mean, I also sometimes make content for Game Explain.
Yeah, we have two game explainers in our little panel here today. I like it.
I mean, I mostly do background stuff. Like, I let other people voice my stuff because I hate the sound of my own voice.
Aw.
I think it's nice.
It's a very nice voice.
I like the way you say my name.
Oh, how nice.
And with that concludes our discussion. So, once again, if you're still watching or listening, thank you for making it this far. And I look forward to hearing you guys' opinions and thoughts in the comments below on Discord, on Twitter, on live streams too. You guys share with me your thoughts all over the place. So, anyways, we'll be back next month for some more discussion. But for now, there's only one thing left to say before we take off. And that is, of course, as always, I'm alecandstuff. Do your best out there, and I will see you all again real soon. Bye!